So this is a German Oscar-nominated movie by Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck, and I recently watched another movie of his called The Lives of Others, which was really good, so I figured this is probably worth giving a look, even though it's 3 hours long, which is always a little bit daunting. But was it worth it? Well, yes and no, because it's slow. It's really slow. And it did feel long, but at the same time, it's a rather beautiful movie. And it would have definitely lost some of that beauty had it been shorter. So I'm a little bit on the fence about the length, but overall I think it worked. Now what didn't work for me was the English title, Never Look Away, which is a little bit cryptic. I mean, I can sorta see what it alludes to, but I just think the German title is way better. Werk ohne Autor. Work without an author, which directly relates to the movie, because it has a lot to do with art and the story basically revolves around an artist. Now structurally this is a fairly sprawling movie that spans about 26 years I believe, and it's kinda difficult to describe too, but it's essentially about this young boy who lives in Dresden and grows up in Nazi Germany, and he wants to be an artist. It's basically about his life into his 30s and about him discovering his path as an artist. But there's a whole lot more to it than that. It involves the whole eugenics program too, which was the Nazis' plan to basically eradicate all the undesirables from the population. The sick, the weak, the mentally unstable, and so on and so forth. And there's a love story in there too, and yeah, there's just a lot going on in this movie. But the whole thing starts with this diatribe about art. And art is the through line that the movie follows. And I thought it was kinda interesting to see how art was viewed during these times. And how it changed from one era to the next and from East Germany to the West. So that was fascinating to me, as was the journey of the artist himself, since we more or less get to see his whole evolution from start to finish, which is something that would have definitely felt rushed in a shorter movie. And I usually dislike when movies constantly jump ahead and skip huge chunks of time, because it can so easily make the whole story feel disjointed. But in this it didn't bother me, even though it skipped ahead like 6 times or something. Mainly because of how much time it spent in each era, and because of certain elements that were constant throughout too. Like the boy who grows to be a man, and the art, and some other aspects as well. They all help keep it coherent, and I really appreciated how well that was handled. I also liked how the movie dove into a few quite dark and complex issues, and how it dealt with those. And von Donnersmarck definitely knows what he's doing. Especially when it comes to crafting a movie and telling a story. He's really quite good at it. And I think most filmmakers would probably struggle with a movie like this. And most probably wouldn't even try, because it has to be a real challenge to try to fit all of it into one movie without making it feel rushed. But this guy also knows how to make a good looking movie too. And he has a very utilitarian style. There's no flash or fancy tricks, he just gets the job done efficiently and well. Which I guess brings me to the acting, which is very good as well. No complaints there. I especially liked some of the supporting cast. There's quite a few great little subtle performances here and there. Small things that just made me go, I like what they did there. And overall, I like what they did with this movie in general. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it, to be honest. I didn't love the length, it did feel long. But it clearly served a purpose, so I can't complain too much. But that's basically my only issue with the movie. I liked the rest of it. I also liked that it found a fresh way to tell a story about a subject that's been done to death. About Nazis and the horrible things they did. And this shows that there's more that can be done with this subject. There are more stories to be told about Nazi Germany, and it doesn't need to feel stale and rehashed. You just need to approach it from a different angle, that's all. But would I recommend this? Yeah, if you have the patience, definitely. If not, you can probably skip it. However, I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need to open up my own art gallery. And hey, why not drop a comment below or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.